Hey friends, welcome back to the Aligned Vitality Podcast. I'm Tanya and I'm so glad you're here with me today. If you are a busy professional woman in midlife who feels like something is off in your body, even though your doctor maybe tells you that everything looks normal, you are not alone. This episode is really personal to me because I've sat in that same seat, wondering if maybe I was just imagining things. But what I've learned through both my personal journey and my training in functional health is that, quote, normal doesn't always mean healthy. And we're going to talk about what that means today. By the end of this episode, I think you'll walk away with some new hope, some clarity about why you feel the way you do, and some practical next steps. Do you want to recharge your energy, renew your mental clarity, and rebalance your hormones? Well, you are in the right place. Welcome to Align Vitality, the podcast that offers faith and functional health strategies for high-achieving, health-conscious professional women in midlife. I'm your host, Tanya Ingesother, a certified functional health practitioner, leadership coach, and fellow midlife woman who knows what it's like to look strong on the outside while struggling silently on the inside. Here, we get real about anxiety, brain fog, belly fat, burnout, and hormone challenges that women face in perimenopause. And more importantly, we talk about the path to healing. Each week, you'll find practical strategies and faith-fueled encouragement to help you restore your God-given energy, peace, and joy. If you're ready to stop pushing through and start thriving in the abundant life you were created for, let's get after it. This is Align Vitality. Tell me, have you ever had this experience? You're sitting in your doctor's office. You've been brave enough to come in and say, I am tired all the time. I can't think clearly. My midsection is growing by the day. I feel like my body isn't my own anymore. They look at you, they nod. They might tell you that it's a part of getting older. Maybe they run some blood work. And then they call you or send you a message in the electronic medical record saying, everything looks fine, your labs are normal. On one hand, it's a relief that nothing life-threatening is going on. On the other hand, it leaves you wondering, then why do I feel so crappy? This is where many women in midlife get stuck. The standard medical lab ranges are set up to detect disease, not to measure whether your body is functioning optimally. And that's the difference. You may not be sick in the traditional sense, but you also aren't thriving to the degree that you could be. And let me just validate this for you. You're not making this up. You're not imagining things. You're not weak. You're not wimpy. You're not failing at life. Your body is trying to tell you that something is off. So what do we do with that? Well, this is where functional health really shines. Instead of waiting for things to get bad enough to be labeled as full-on disease, functional health looks for the earlier signs of dysfunction and opportunities to build health. Think about it like your car. If the check engine light comes on, you don't wait until the engine completely fails, or at least I hope you don't, before paying attention. You take it in for a diagnostic, right? They plug in the little computer and they see why the check engine light is on. Well, that's exactly what functional health does. We look for patterns. Are your stress hormones out of rhythm? Maybe that explains your fatigue or why you wake up at 2 a.m. every morning. Is your gut inflamed or imbalanced? That could be behind your bloating, your IBS, or even your anxiety. Are your detox pathways sluggish? That could be why you feel puffy, foggy, or overly sensitive to caffeine or alcohol. Or why you don't poop every day like you should. Are your sex hormones shifting in ways that are leaving you moody, sleepless, or stuck with stubborn weight gain? Instead of looking at each system in isolation, functional health asks the question, how are these systems interacting with one another? because they do not exist in silos and in isolation. Here's where I want to share what makes functional diagnostic nutrition different and why I chose that program for my certification in functional health. In traditional wellness spaces, sometimes the approach is trial and error. Let's try this supplement and see if you feel better, or let's cut out gluten and hopefully it helps. Well, sometimes that works or at least helps. Often it just leaves women feeling as confused as when they started. With FDN, the philosophy is don't guess, instead test. We run functional labs that look at things standard blood work misses. For example, a comprehensive hormone panel that measures your cortisol rhythm throughout the day, not just one snapshot. So we can see if your stress response is balanced or flatlined or dysfunctional. We look at your sex hormone levels, estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. And yes, men and women have all three of these. We look at your melatonin levels. A GI map stool test detects parasites, bacteria balance, yeast, and markers of gut inflammation. All things that can quietly rob you of energy and nutrient absorption. An MBA, where we look at your intestinal mucosal barrier integrity, your gut lining, to see if you are appropriately absorbing the good nutrients you need and keeping out the things you don't want to get into your bloodstream. I will tell you that there are probably very few people walking around with a healthy gut lining. Most people will have some evidence of leaky gut, and that causes a whole myriad of other health problems downstream. Or there's food sensitivity testing and metabolic wellness panels that reveal hidden triggers that are taxing your system, even if you think that you're eating healthy. And here is the power of this. When you put that lab data next to your story, your history, and your symptoms, you suddenly have a roadmap. You can see exactly what needs to be addressed. And that's when healing stops being a guessing game. And you can come at it naturally. Let me give you just a little practical example. Imagine a woman named Sarah. She's 45 years old. She's a leader. She's juggling deadlines. She has aging parents and she has kids at home. She is exhausted. Her hair is starting to fall out. She's snapping at her husband more than she wants to admit. And she just hasn't felt like herself in years. Her doctor runs some basic labs. He checks her thyroid and says, "Everything looks good. You're fine. Maybe you're just stressed. Try to get some more sleep." But here's what functional labs might reveal. It might reveal that her cortisol is spiking at night, which explains the 2 a.m. wake-up calls. Or her cortisol might not be keeping up with her energy demands at all. Maybe her gut is showing some signs of leaky gut, which is triggering food sensitivities and inflammatory responses at a systemic level. Maybe her progesterone is bottoming out, which explains her mood swings and her heavy cycles. Now, suddenly, Sarah has some answers as to why she is not feeling like herself. And not just answers, she has specific information that can guide an individualized health-building plan. I want to pause here and point out something really important. God did not design your body to betray you. He designed it to give you signals. Symptoms aren't something to resent or try to cover up. They are invitations to pay attention and get curious. Think about it. When you feel hunger, that is your body's signal saying it needs fuel. When you feel pain, that's your body saying something needs your attention or something needs care. The same is true for fatigue, brain fog, anxiety, depression. These are all signals. And Scripture even affirms this idea. In 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 19, Paul reminds us that our bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit. That means they matter when it comes to doing the work of the Lord. They are worthy of our attention and care, and when we honor the signals, we honor God and His design in the process. So what can you do today if this is resonating with you? Well, to start with, track what you are experiencing. Keep a symptom journal. When do you feel most tired? What foods seem to make you feel off? What's happening with your sleep? This information is really helpful to start to help understand what's going on with your body. Number 2, be honest about stress. Sometimes we get used to running in overdrive and we stop noticing how much it costs us. Just check in with yourself sometimes. Where could you build in some small breaks just to breathe, to pray, or to take a walk outside in the sunshine? Folks, that's another one I'm going to tuck in here. Get natural sunlight in your eyes to set your circadian patterns back on track. Number 3, nourish, don't punish your body. This isn't about diets or deprivation. It's about feeding your body what it truly needs. Real, whole foods that stabilize blood sugar and give you steady amounts of energy. Now, supplements play a very helpful role also in healing, but you cannot out-supplement a bad diet. Nutrition is the foundational element to health. Food is literally medicine and in some cases poison if you have immune reactions or sensitivities to specific foods. And finally, prioritize rest. I will say this again. Rest is not weakness or laziness. Rest is required and it is worship. Jesus himself modeled stepping away from crowds to recharge. You can too. Also, sleep is a necessity when it comes to building health. You will not be well or get well if you are not getting good quality sleep and enough of it. Here's the truth. You don't have to live in the gap between, quote, normal and healthy. You don't have to settle for fine. You were designed for abundance and for vitality. And that's what I want this podcast and my functional health coaching practice to be about. Helping you reconnect the dots, understand what your body is trying to say, and create a plan to move toward thriving in life. We'll be covering topics like stress and adrenal health, gut health, hormones in midlife, and even environmental toxins you might not realize are draining your energy. And yes, we'll even talk about that stubborn weight gain. Think of it as your midlife reset roadmap, one that is rooted in both science and God's beautiful, intelligent design in our bodies. So if you're listening and you're thinking, yeah, this is me. I don't want to keep guessing. I want real answers. Then I want you to join me. Go to gracefilledleader.com/health and sign up for my interest list. Or go right to gracefilledleader.com/coaching and get a free discovery call. Find out if functional health coaching is for you and if I'm the right fit for you. Because my friend, you do not have to do this alone and you don't have to settle. You were made to thrive in body, mind, and spirit, and I would be honored to walk this journey with you. Until next time, lead well, live well, and be well, sister friend. Thank you so much for joining me today, my friend. If today's episode encouraged or blessed you, would you please take a minute to leave a rating and written review on Apple Podcasts? It means the world to me, and it helps more women like you discover this message of hope and healing. If you're ready to take the next step in your functional health journey, join my interest list at alignvitalityhealth.com. And remember, this podcast is for educational purposes only. It is not intended to be medical advice, nor is it intended to diagnose or treat disease. Please consult your healthcare provider before making changes to your health. Until next time, I'm Tanya Ingesether, reminding you that healing is possible and your best season is still ahead.